Welcome to the Credit Repair Show with your host, the Credit Doctor, Angelo McCutcheon, coming to you with another quick video on the credit repair process. Now, today we're going to be talking about credit report errors or inaccuracies that are found on credit reports, right? So we're going to dive into that. And the reason why we're going to look into that, and we say welcome to all of our Facebook listeners and to all of our YouTube listeners. And also we're on Instagram. So our followers on Instagram, we're going to say welcome to the Credit Repair Show as you come on into the room, or even if you watch this as a replay. Make sure you hit the like button. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. If you're on Facebook, give us some stars, some thumbs up, hit the like button, hit the share button. Everybody hit the share button. We appreciate everybody, for all of our followers, for tuning in. We're starting to go live much more now because we're getting a bigger response of people who want to know more about how to improve their credit, right? And if we can give you the information on how you can do it on your own, then you wouldn't have to hire anybody. So we try to give you the information. And then if you're the type of person that says, hey, I can't do the work, then reach out to us and we can help you with that. And we offer you absolutely a free credit repair consultation over the phone. So we'll do all that for you. But for now, listening to our videos, this is to give you education, because our goal is you do not have to live with bad credit. There is something you can do about it. You just have to have the knowledge and the wisdom to go about it and know basically what to do when it comes to improving your credit. And of course, you guys who want to come on and comment in the room, if you're on Facebook, make sure you hit the link above. So when you make a comment, it will be seen in the chat room. So hit that link above, that StreamYard link above, and then you can start making your comments. So come into the room and say hello to me. Hi, give me some thumbs up, give me some hearts. You know how we do, right? So let's talk about credit repair errors. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I see a lot of people who go around, or whether it's on YouTube or Instagram, and they don't like the idea of people trying to clean up their credit. A lot of times they just say, hey, a person should just pay, their bills. A person should just pay whatever bills they owe, they should just pay it. That's one way to clean it up. And that's a good thing. I believe everybody should pay their bills. Absolutely. Everybody should definitely pay whatever bills they create, they should pay. I have no problem with that. But what they're missing is, in life, things happen. We get sick. Someone in our home gets sick. We lose our jobs, and it causes us to fall back. Causes us to fall back sometime on our bills and cause us to fall into debt. Now, when that happens, no one likes to go into debt. I don't like to go into debt, but it happens. So if they're going to start, now that things are going into debt and they're reporting this on my credit report, it's not that I don't want to pay the bill, and it's not like a lot of people don't want to pay the bill. It's just sometimes they're not in a position to pay it at that particular time. Now, the problem comes in is when these accounts gets reported to the credit bureaus from your creditors, you and I creditors, a lot of times they report inaccurate information. And so a lot of times when these inaccurate information gets reported on your credit report, it damages even more your ability to obtain a home, or get a new car, or get credit cards so you can start building your credit. It damages that. And so I like to talk about not so much you not paying your bills, because I want everybody to pay their bills. But what I'm talking about is, hey, these errors should not be happening on your credit report. These creditors should not be taking advantage of reporting inaccurate information just because they may be mad at you. And so the government, when they took up this reign, and I believe it was the mid 70s, and they started realizing that, hey, the credit bureaus are reporting, or at least got who, the furnishers or the creditors who furnish the credit bureaus with all this information about you and I, how we pay our bills, do we pay them on time, what bills we owe, things like that. When they start reporting that to the credit bureaus, they start reporting inaccurate information. Some, I believe, was done on purpose to hurt the consumer who fell into debt with that lender. And then sometimes it was just a mistake made by the furnisher, by the debt, by the creditor who reported that information. Or sometimes it was a mistake by the credit bureaus who received the information and did not report it accurately on the credit reports. And so that's why the government came up with the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And in this Fair Credit Reporting Act, when they did, when they did their study, or had a study done in this area, they found out that 70%, and it may be 79, I know I put 70% in the title, but it may be 79% of all credit reports contain some type of error. Think about that. Not 50%, not 30%, not 20%. Uh-oh, wait a minute. You say my volume is off? Let me check that. My volume should not be off, please. Please. Let's see here. If anybody else can hear me, let me know. My volume let me just check this real quick. Oh, please, I don't want to do all this. It's working now? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Reese. Appreciate that. Got a little nervous there. Don't want this thing be, I don't want to be talking for 20, 25 minutes and nobody can hear me and have to do this whole thing over. Instagram, can you hear me? Just give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me on Instagram, so I'll know that the volume there is good as well. It's on now. Okay, thanks. All right, so so on the Federal Trade Commission's website, a study was done, not so much by the Federal Trade Commission, but whatever company did this study, and found out that 70 to 79% of all credit reports contain some type of error. And these errors affect many consumers, or all consumers, if you have errors on your credit report, the ability of being able to restart their credit, prevent them from actually buying a home or getting it with a high interest rate, buying cars, or getting a loan for their business. These errors have affected many consumers. So credit repair is the legal process that has been set up for you to be able to fix and clean up any inaccurate information that's reporting on your credit reports. Now, the problem is many people, when they're looking at their credit, are not thinking in terms of, are they reporting some type of error on my credit report? Because 9 out of 10 times, most people will just say, that's my bill. That's my bill. That's my debt. Yeah, I had a Capital One account. Yeah, I had a First Premier account. That's my debt. That's my debt. I know I got to pay it. And while, yeah, you have to pay it, if you can't pay it, it does not mean that they can report inaccurate information. And so when the Fair Credit Reporting Act came in, it said that anybody or any lender, basically anybody who reports any negative items on your credit report, must report it 100%. It must be 100% accurate, not 50%, not 70%, not 99%. It must be 100%. And then the law says if it's not 100%, they either have to fix it or they have to delete it from your credit report. So that's not if they delete it, not necessarily means you still don't owe it. It just means that they can't report negative, inaccurate information on your credit report, because these things hinder people from trying to buy a home. These errors hinder people from getting a new car. These errors hinder people from establishing good credit, trying to establish good credit. So that's why it is important that you not only know what's being reported on your credit report, but that you see that everything that's being reported has to be 100% accurate. Now, I'm going to read something to you because people, just don't believe. I've been saying this for years. Excuse me. I've been saying this for years, that a lot of times negative info, these creditors, whether it be cars, whether it be homes, whether it be credit cards, telephone companies, whatever, they do at times report inaccurate information. Believe it or not. And I'll get into some examples of how you can find some negative things on your credit report. But let me read this, which came out by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, known as the CFPB, right? I'm going to read a little bit of this article to you, right? I'm going to read a little bit of this article. And this is the company, part of the government, that oversees the credit industry. They're the watchdogs to make sure these lenders are doing what's right, debt collectors are doing what's right. And if they're not, then they will sue them, right, for violating the rights of the consumers. So with that in mind, let me read you a little bit so you know that negative things do be showing up on your credit report. So it says here, and this just came out July 26th, just a few days ago. This came out July 26th. All right. And it's and it says CFPB orders Hyundai, the car company, Hyundai, to pay $19 million for widespread credit report failures. This is Hyundai now. It's the car dealer, Hyundai. Let me read some. It says, today, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, known as the CFPB, penalized Hyundai for repeatedly providing inaccurate information to nationwide credit reporting companies and failing to take proper measures to address inaccurate information once it was identified. And this happened between 2016 and 2020. So if you had a Hyundai, it is, you can say close to 100% that they may have reported some inaccurate information on your credit report between 2016 and 2020. These are the years that the government is talking about right now. And not only were they reporting inaccurate information, listen, let's stop right there. I need everybody, if you're on YouTube, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, subscribe. Right now, if you're watching me on Facebook, hit the like button, but I need you to share this video. Hit the share button. Share it, because I'm about to drop some good information to show you that these companies will report inaccurate information, sometimes on purpose, sometimes by mistake, but they'll do it. And the problem is when it's pointed out that they have these inaccuracies, they don't do anything about it to fix it. And this is what the government is saying here, that between 2016 and 2020, they were reporting inaccurate information. And when it was pointed out to them, they didn't do anything about it. So when enough people complain, the government sued them. And now Hyundai have to pay $19 million for widespread credit report failures. All right, so if you know anybody who got Hyundai, tell them they need to look into that. or had Hyundai between 2016 and 2020. That's something they need to look into. All right, let me read a little bit more about this. It says they found that Hyundai used manual and outdated systems, processes, and procedures to furnish credit reporting information, which led to widespread inaccuracies. I don't want to say, oh my Lord, let me put it like that way. Oh my Lord. Hyundai in the 2000s are using old systems and procedures to report information about you, if you had Hyundai, you had the car Hyundai, to the credit bureaus, which led to them reporting inaccurate information. And let me read on. And these inaccuracies resulted in negative, inaccurate information being placed on consumers' credit reports through no fault of their own. Listen, I keep telling you, people out there said, hey, people need to stop doing credit repair. They need to stop doing credit repair, and just pay their bills. Just pay their bills. Stop trying to fix their credit and just pay their bills, stuff like that. No. That's not what we're saying. Again, let me emphasize, everybody should pay their bills. Everybody should pay their bills. Of course, I'm not advocating for not paying your bills, but what I am saying, if for some reason you fall behind, and many of us do, I know I did, if for any reason you fall behind and these information starts getting reported on your credit report, then they better be reporting information that's 100% accurate. Because they can't say that, hey, I'm not paying my bills, and then lie about how much money I owe, or lie about when I open up the account. They can't do that. They can't have both their cake and ice cream. They can't do both. You either got to report information 100% accurate, or don't report it at all. So I want everybody to understand this and get this. And this is why everybody should be looking at their credit reports. At least once a year, you should be looking at your credit reports. At least once a year. Now, if you got these monitoring systems, you can look at it as often as you want. But at least once a year, you should be looking at your credit reports if you're the type of person who don't think about it that much. Okay, let me read on. Watch this, listen to this. Hyundai furnished inaccurate information in more than 8.7 million instances. Hyundai, now we're talking about the car dealership. Hyundai between 2016 and 2020. Let me drink a little bit of this because I need that to just sink in. And to all my clients, if you had Hyundai, we got to revisit your credit reports and look at that. Excuse me for that. Okay, so let me read that again. This is Hyundai, the car dealer. According to the government, the CFPB, Hyundai furnished inaccurate information in more than 8.7 million instances on more than 2.2 million consumer accounts during that period. So it's not like they did 10, they messed up 10 accounts. They reported inaccurate information on 50 people. No. This is 2.2 million. People had inaccurate information being reported on their credit report through Hyundai. The order requires Hyundai to take steps to prevent future violations and to pay more than $19 million, including $13.2 million in redress to affect consumers who were inaccurately reported as delinquent and a $6 million silver money penalty, making this the largest Fair Credit Report Act case against an auto dealer. So basically, let me put the hay down where you can get it. Hyundai got their hand caught in the cookie jar. Hyundai, the company, the car dealership, got their hand caught in the cookie jar. Now, it took 4 years, basically, between 2016 and 2020, and enough people complaining that the government stepped in and said, hey, you guys can't do this. You guys. Now, listen, let's just think about it. If Hyundai did this, do you really think that Hyundai is the only car dealership that's reporting inaccurate information? Let me just stop right there. Let me give you a chance to breathe. Let me say it again. Do you honestly think that Hyundai is the only car dealership that's reported inaccurate information? I would venture to say, nope. Remember, 79% of all credit reports have been found to have errors in it. Between 70, I'm just gonna say 79. 79, according to the study that's on the Federal Trade Commission's website, 70, and they may have updated, this is the last time I looked at it, 79% of all credit reports have some type of error in it. And Hyundai just proved that they reported 2.2 million inaccurate information on 2.2 million consumers' credit reports. You didn't think that affected them? In other words, they were reporting late payments that weren't late. They were reporting balances that were inaccurate. Dates that said they may have opened the account on one day, but was really another day, month, and year. I'm telling you guys, this is serious business. And this is why I keep screaming, that it's important that you understand how important credit is. Now, while credit isn't everything, but it is a big part of what goes on in this world today. It's a big part. Everybody's looking at your credit report. You know that. Everybody. Not only the mortgage companies. Thanks for the hearts. I appreciate that. Not only mortgage companies, not only car dealers, but if you're going to get an apartment, they're looking at your credit. If you're getting life insurance, they're looking at your credit. If you're getting your lights turned on in your home, they're looking at your credit. If you're getting cable TV, they're looking at your credit. You're getting a cell phone, they're looking at your credit. And if all these people want to look at your credit, then guess who else should be looking at your credit? You. Especially when you know that 79% of all credit reports contain some type of error. Now that error or inaccuracy could be found anywhere on your credit report. And let me just give you some examples. And again, we just showed you where Hyundai, the car place, was sued by the government and have to pay $19 million, right? Another 13, which includes 13.2 million in redress, and another 6 million of that for civil money penalties. In other words, some of that money may start trickling down to you guys who owned or had Hyundai between the year 2016 in 2020, but they had to pay $19 million now. Hyundai reporting all that inaccuracies. So what are some ways that you can actually, and if you guys have any questions, you can type it in the comment. Feel free to type it in the comment if you have any questions. I really wanted to get that point across. So make sure you hit the like button, hit the share button. Definitely share it. Give us some hearts, some thumbs up. YouTube, you know what it is. Just hit that like button. So what are some ways that you can find errors on your credit report? Well, I'm just going to give you a couple because I can go through this. I can give you a whole lot. But then I'm not going to be on here this long. So, for instance, and I believe I shared this before, you get all three of your credit reports, right? Let's say you go to the annualcreditreport.com and you pull all three of your credit reports, right? Then what you have to do is compare it. So let's just say Capital One. I'm just going to use them for example. I love using Capital One as an example. So let's say you had a Capital One account and it went into default, and now it's reporting as a negative. And let's say when they charged it off or they put it into collections, they say you owed $5,500. That's what Capital One said. Now, when Capital One reports it to the credit bureaus, here's what you got to look at. Look at all three credit reports. Look at the Capital One account. Look at the charge-offs. Because here's what you find sometimes. Not in every case, but this is some of the ways you can find some errors. So Capital One says you owe $5,500 to them. Now, when they report it to the credit bureau, let's say they report to TransUnion $5,500 was charged off. But then they report to Experian $5,300 was charged off. And then they report to Equifax $5,500 was charged off. Now, TransUnion and Equifax seem like, they're reporting the same amount, but Experian is $5,300. Well, remember, the law says that everything about your credit report has to be accurate, 100% accurate. So you can't have different accounts. You can't have different amounts for the same account. It's just impossible. Do I owe Capital One $5,500 or do I owe them $5,300? That's an inaccuracies right there. So that alone gives you the right to dispute that information, because either the furnisher, Capital One, is not giving everybody the accurate information, or the credit bureaus, having received that information from the Capital One, made a mistake when they put it on paper of how much you owe. That's just one example that you can't. TransUnion can't say, "Hey, we charged off $5,500," but Experian said no, $5,300. Which one is it? And because you guys don't really know, I can't trust you guys, I'm now disputing this information. And my goal is, if you can't fix it, then I need this deleted from my credit report. Listen, you guys, I'm not telling you anything that I didn't go through when I was cleaning up my credit. Right? Many of you guys, or some of you guys, have heard my story, and the reason why I educate so hard about giving people the right information is because I was never educated about the importance of credit. Right? Not when I was coming up, we didn't have that. We didn't have a credit class in any of the schools I went to. They didn't talk about the importance of credit. We didn't talk about it in our home, my home at least. We didn't talk about the importance of credit. I was never educated about that. Even when I was going to church or coming up in the church, we didn't have no classes on credit. There was no sermons on credit. So basically, for me and a lot of other people, it was basically trial and error. And in my case, It was error. Thank you guys for sharing the video. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for sharing the video. It was error. And so by the time I was married and raising a family and really trying to get myself together, but yet getting denied for everything. And I didn't even know why. Listen, at that time, this is over 15, 20, maybe 20 years ago now, I didn't know what a credit score was. I didn't know what a credit report was. I just didn't know. All I know, they kept denying me for anything I tried to get. And they kept saying that, well, it has something to do with your credit report. I was like, my credit report? The heck? And then I said, you know what? I got to find out, what is this thing they talking about, a credit report? I'm telling you guys, this is why I teach hard. The first time I pulled my credit reports, the very first time I ever pulled my credit reports, I had about 15 to 18 negative items on all 3 of my credit reports. Very first time. Because as a young person, yes, because I wasn't educated, I messed up. I had credit cards, loans, things like that. And if I paid it, if I had the money to pay it back, I did. If I didn't, I just let it go. I did not know it was going to follow me. I did not. Nobody told me it was going to follow me. So I thought if I just ignored it because I couldn't pay it, it would just go away. So 15 to 18 negative things on all 3 of my credit reports. The first time I ever pulled my credit score, oh my Lord, all 3 of my scores is in the low 400s. It was like 405. Now, the worst you can get is a 350. FICO score, 350. I was at 405. I can remember, but I don't know exactly which ones had it. I don't know if TransUnion, Equifax, but I know one was 405, 425, and one was like 4. I think the highest was like 435. I was like, oh my Lord. I'm so far away from 800. This is crazy. But you know what I did? I started educating myself. This was just for me. I just started educating myself on how I can fix my credit. And again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to type it in. Again, if you're on Facebook, make sure you click on that link. So when you share or you make a comment, it'll come directly into the chat room so I can see it. Otherwise, I won't be able to see it until I go back and look at Facebook, my Facebook page. So I said, you know what? I got to start. And I started talking to people about, is it possible to fix your credit, or is it possible to how do I get my credit score up? Now, I know I had to build up some positive things, right? Because you just can't get rid of all the negative things and not build up positive things. So that I understood. I had to start getting some small credit cards, right, with a credit limit of $300, $400, $500, secure credit cards. I had to start building it slowly. But as far as the negative items, this is when I came across the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA, and the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Now, I am not a lawyer. I don't give out lawyer advice. I don't play a lawyer on YouTube. All the information, as I always say, I share with all of you guys on any of my platforms is for educational purposes. If you need legal advice, then I will actually tell you to go out and seek a consumer lawyer for legal advice. All right, so let's make that clear. So I started reading and I said, oh, okay, so I have some rights. The Fair Credit Reporting Act said, oh, I can do this. Oh, I can't do that. Creditors can do this. Creditors can't do that. The credit bureaus can't do this. Boom. Or they can't report inaccurate information. Oh, I started looking at my credit report. Well, what's on here is inaccurate. I saw a lot of mistakes. I saw accounts that was reporting 2 or 3 times the same accounts. Oh, I don't think they can get away with that. And so basically, long story short, it took me close to 2 years when I started cleaning up my credit. When I said that, it took me a year and a half of just doing research. First of all, a year and a half doing research, right? People who know me know I will research. If it's Bible, I'll research. Whatever it is, when I start doing research, I'm a research, right? So a year and a half to do research. And then I started applying what I learned. I said, now I want to see if this works. Start sending out dispute letters. And in the span close to 2 years, I took my scores from the low 400, all 3 of them, all the way up to the 800 plus. Got everything deleted from my credit report, build up some positive things on my credit report, and basically that started me on my journey. And then I ended up cleaning up my wife's. I think I cleaned up one of my sister's credit, and a couple more people before people start hearing that I actually, know how to clean up credit. And from there, I actually wrote a book called I wrote a book in 2011. It was entitled, and I still have those books, How to Clean Up Your Credit Legally. Good Lord, I'm gonna go get a book. How to Clean Up Your Credit Legally, What the Debt Collectors Don't Want You to Know. That's the title of my book. I wrote that based on all the information and research that I did in learning how to clean up my credit. And I shared a lot of information about that. And then from there, people found out, basically what I did, started helping people. And of course, me being an entrepreneur, turned it into a business, right? Because I knew this was something that a lot of people need, and just turned it into a business. And from there, I started doing workshops at churches, schools. I did a couple of workshops at prisons. I mean, not for the prisoners, but for the people who work in the prison. It was calling me in everywhere to do workshops, to educate people at schools. I went into schools, and this was all when I was living in New Jersey. Went into schools, educated children in the basic form of credit, because I said, hey, they don't have these classes, at least not in our schools that we went to. So, I was there. I was just doing workshops everywhere I could. Anybody who called me to do a workshop, I would do a workshop. Got to the point where Chick-fil-A in New Jersey was at an event that I was doing, or talking about my credit repair business, and the owner of the Chick-fil-A in the Garden State Mall, for those of you who are familiar with New Jersey, the Garden State Mall, the Chick-fil-A partnered with me, called me and said, hey man, I want to partner with you, right? Because I feel what you're doing is very important. And they partnered with me for about 2 years before we moved to Virginia, but they partnered with me whenever I would do workshops. First of all, they paid me to do workshops for their employees, and we was able to help some of their employees clean up their credit, gave them the education, everything they needed. They then started partnering with me. They started providing foods at my vineyard. Whenever I did workshops, they was providing Chick-fil-A sandwiches and food and all that good stuff. So we had a nice partnership with them, because they believed in what I was doing, and I really appreciate that. Thank you, Val. Appreciate that. Val is definitely a client of mine. We're definitely working, still working to help bring that score up even higher and do more stuff even with that. So yeah, I appreciate it. We've helped hundreds of people clean up their credit. There are some people who took my book, read it, and used the information in the book to actually clean up their credit on their own. Right. And then there's some people who bought my book and said, hey, I can't, listen, you give good information, but I don't have the time. So I just need your company to step in and help me do the work. And so we're there. And my way of giving back for all these years of helping people repair their credit and giving out all this education is what I do. So I do podcasts, sharing information. I do YouTube and Facebook, and I don't know, people have interviewed me on podcasts and other Facebook, YouTube's videos and stuff like that, right? So you see I'm kind of getting tired, so I'm trying to bring it down, right? So yeah, we have been around. This is not nothing new. I'm not new to this. I am not new to this. I'm true to this, right? Now, there's a lot of challenges with that, because there are a lot of laws that come into play when it comes to credit report, right? And how you got to make sure you legit, make sure you're not scamming the people and things like that. There was time when I thought I might give this up. There were times when I thought about it, because I started seeing a lot of laws that would change it to make it difficult for that. And who knows? But right now, because so many people are constantly calling me, even now, I gotta at least give this information out. This information is free to give out. It is free to give out. And sometimes people say, you give out way more information than you probably. Nope, I give out information because I want the people to know that they do not have to live with bad credit. So if you follow me now on TikTok, on Facebook Reels, I'm everywhere just giving out this information. Website, we're also doing business credit now, helping people build business credit, which is another component. And you'll see more videos of that coming soon. So that's where it's at. That's where it's at. So today we just wanted to talk to you about errors that are found on credit reports. There are a lot of errors that are found on credit reports. And because of these errors, credit repair is the way to get it fixed. Remember, I'm not saying this, but the CFPB, the government, says whatever goes on your credit report, it has to be 100% accurate. Not 50%, not 90%. It has to be one. So the account number has to be accurate. The day you open up the account has to be accurate. The day you close the account have to be accurate. The balances have to be accurate. The charged off amount has to be accurate. The current status have to be accurate. I mean, just go on and on. It has to be accurate. No longer can they get away with just reporting anything. And here's the problem, you guys. Here is the problem. Here is the problem. The credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, the major three, there's some smaller ones, but these are the major three, right? They have hundreds of employees working for them, some in this country, some overseas, but they have hundreds of people working for them, right? But they have millions of consumer reports, information going through hundreds of people's hands. Now, they have some computer stuff that they use, but a lot of times these information is being handled by human hands or typing in through the computers by human hands. And when human hands get part of anything, there's going to be some human error and mistakes and inaccuracies. And they make them all the time. Here is the problem. The credit bureau, if they make a mistake on your credit report, you know what they basically say? If you don't say nothing, they're not going to say nothing. Because the only one that's being affected by those errors are you. So, appreciate all you guys. Thank you for following, like, and share. We'll be back. Might be back on tomorrow night. Talk about some more things to help you build up your credit report. Look for me around 8 or 9 o'clock tomorrow, Friday night. But I appreciate you guys. Stay blessed. Whatever you do, stay blessed. Stay blessed. But what's even more important is that you are a blessing. And with that in mind,